So when motivation fades, you have to remember one thing. Your dreams don't work unless you work. And I'll say that again for those who might have been distracted by the kids in the car. Your dreams, they don't work unless you work. Hi, I'm Jay, a certified life coach and former educator who believes that rediscovering ourselves takes just a little bit of courage. This show is focused on helping you develop the mindset and the courage to regain your confidence, to redefine yourself, and to reimagine your life, one episode at a time. Hello, my positivity posse, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for being here with me at this moment. Seriously, thank you. I know you had to pick up your phone, find my podcast, choose this episode, and press play to join me here today. All right, you might have been able to say, hey, Alexa, or okay, Google to get things started, but at a minimum, you had to be relatively motivated to listen to me today. And trust me, I know that sometimes motivation is at a premium in our lives. And the truth is, recently, I've been struggling with my own motivation. So as a life coach, right, when I'm not working with clients, I'm creating content. So obviously this podcast is a form of content, but I also have my weekly newsletter, my Instagram, my TikTok, Facebook page, LinkedIn feeds. All of them need time and attention, and they need content in order for me to provide value out into the universe. So you listen to this podcast, if you're a regular listener, clearly you find value in it. But what happens when we temporarily lose our motivation, or even worse, have a really long spell when motivation just seems to leave us? It just disappears. It's gone. How do we get it back? And then how do we move forward when we get it back? So first, let's kind of dispel what motivation isn't. Okay, motivation isn't this endless store of you can do it speeches and your classic 1980s movies, 1990s music, whatever it may be, whatever you use to pump yourself up that you consume, every day or, every week, whatever it might be, right? That part of it is important, but it's not something that you can call on over and over and over again. Those motivational tricks fade at some point. And then motivation also isn't something that everyone has every single day. I know you might be thinking to yourself, well, there's those people, right? Those people, they're the ones that are always on top. They're doing things, they're achieving goals, they're setting standards and expectations, and they're absolutely crushing it in life. Listen, those people are also at times not motivated. Right? Every single person on this planet goes through periods when motivation fades. It's part of being a human. It's part of life. There is no perfect person who wakes up motivated every single day because there's no perfect people. All right? So let's get that clear, right out the gate. It's okay not to have motivation. It happens. You're normal. I'm going to say it again. You're normal. Okay, so why am I telling you this? Because you need to understand that we all go through this in periods in our lives, right? When things aren't firing on all cylinders, we lose our motivation. We just can't seem to find the spark to push forward. And that, my friends, is okay. Again, it's okay. You're human. So stop beating yourself up about that. Now, you got to get back on the horse and you got to try again. When the motivation fades, it's okay. You just can't stay motivated or unmotivated for too long. That's when it becomes a problem. So what are some things you can do to help yourself get motivated? Well, we can't only use motivation to drive success in our lives. It's not just about motivation alone because things pop up, obstacles emerge, the realities of life gets in our way. Right? So when motivation fades, or if the motivation fades, you need to have some resources in place to help you in times of adversity. So as I mentioned before, I've been struggling with motivation recently, and it has a lot to do with writer's block in creating content. I'm absolutely stuck. And today's episode is just as much for me as it is for you, right? Sometimes the creativity flows. Sometimes it doesn't. So when I struggle with that, I turn to consuming content that's outside the realm of the things that I normally would do. I learn things outside of my comfort zone. I spend time putting all of my thoughts on the table to find a nugget of information that might just spark my creative juices. Second, I try really hard not to get distracted by what other people are doing, like what other creators are doing, what their lives look like on social, what the type of things that they're posting. And you might fall into this as well. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. You might be looking at people's social and seeing them crushing like the gym and other things. Like, don't get lost in that. Right? We want to look for things that motivate us, but sometimes the things that we go to look for motivate us actually deflate us. All right. So you got to find motivation within, not without, like not external. It's got to be internal. So when this happens to me, I ask 3 questions of myself. 1, what's important in my life? What has affected my thinking recently? And what is relevant to me? And when I have the answers to those questions, I then ask myself these questions. What are all the things I know to be true about what is important to me? Like I write them down, put them down on paper. What are all of the things that are important to me about that? Then, why do I love what I do? Again, lots of ideas. You're basically taking all of your thoughts and just downloading them onto a piece of paper. And then finally, how does my work benefit others? So when I have those, right, when I take a look at those thoughts, then I use them to create intentional thoughts about the work that I do. And you can do the same thing. Intentional thought creation is a pretty cool thing. You could do it about your life, your work, your relationships, whatever it may be. But you got to find the answers within instead of outside yourself. And then finally, you have to act, right? Motivation without action is nothing. It's zero, zip, zilch, nada. Now let me see if this visualization will work for you. Imagine a horse. Okay, those majestic beasts, I absolutely love horses. They're just so incredible, so powerful. Like when they get up and get going, they run like the wind, and it's so powerful to watch, right? They're just, I used the word before majestic. They're just majestic creatures. Now imagine a rocking horse. Different kind of horse, I know. They're also powerful. They create a lot of motion, but what happens? They don't go anywhere. They work really, really hard, but they go absolutely nowhere. That visualization, that example, that's motivation without action. So when motivation fades, you have to remember one thing. Your dreams don't work unless you work. And I'll say that again for those sitting in the back row, for those who might have been distracted by the kids in the car, for those who might necessarily like not remember it, but your dreams, they don't work unless you work. And I'm telling that to you to tell it to myself as a reminder that we all have to act on our dreams in order to make them come true. All right, my friends, that's a wrap. If you want to learn more about how to make your dreams work for you, how you can find motivation in your life, how you can have a life that's 10 times better than it is right now today, drop me a line at coaching@jasonramsden.com and let's connect. And remember, your gift of time listening to the show does mean the world to me. There is no greater gift than the time that you have in your life. And when you spend it with me, it does mean the world to me. And as always, be well, be happy, be you. And until the next time, may your quest for positivity begin today. Hey, Positivity Posse. If you're ready to coach yourself, I invite you to download my free workbook, 7 Steps to Regain, Redefine, and Reimagine Your Life. Head over to www.jasonramsden.com/my-links and click on the download link at the top of the page. It's that simple. And hey, if you're interested in working with me as your own personal life coach, visit jasonramsden.com and click Get Started in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. I hope to talk to you soon. Until then, have an amazing day. Positivity on Fire is a production of Impact One Media LLC. All rights reserved.